everybody. Welcome to another segment of Smarterfan Podcast, where we bring you behind the veil of sports, business, and life. I'm Joe. This is Barry. How you doing, Barry?
I'm doing good, Joe. I mean, from day to day, it's sometimes it's cold enough to be November, and then the next day is cold enough to be December, and then the next day is shorts. But I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
It's like, what's going on here? But it's all good. So much going on, man, and it's so exciting. I'm talking to some people to see if they can sneak me into the draft happening in New York, the NFL draft, and I think next week or the week after. So it'll be interesting if I can get in there and maybe talk to a few people. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you know what we do on Smarter Fan Podcast. We're always trying to give you another angle that you haven't seen before.
Yeah. That's right. Well, I'm going to talk about a gentleman by the name of Jethro Pugh.
Ooh, the big man.
Yeah. He was born in Windsor, North Carolina, and he went to Elizabeth City State College at the age of 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He played football for the college, and he played both offense and defense. Now, he was a two-time All-Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association defensive end in 63 and 64. And they retired his jersey. And the school's now called Elizabeth State University.
In New Jersey?
No, in North Carolina.
In North Carolina, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was drafted by the Cowboys in 65, but he was also offered a contract by the Raiders.
Really?
Yeah. So,
interesting.
He started as a backup defensive end, and then by the end of 66, he was they moved him to defensive tackle. Now, he was great against the run, and he was an excellent pass rusher. And he unofficially is credited with 95 and a half sacks.
What?
Yeah. He averaged 12 and a half sacks from 68 to 72. And that was a team record until it was broken by DeMarcus Ware.
What?
Yeah, man. He was a beast. Now, after Super Bowl 13, he retired, having played in 4 Super Bowls and helping them win 2. He played in 23 playoff games.
That Landry.
That's right. He helped the Cowboys win 5 NFC championships, and he was in the postseason 12 of the 14 seasons he played.
Oh, my goodness. He lived there.
Now, while he was playing, he had part of his salary deferred. So by the time he retired, he had a nice little nest egg.
Smart.
Yeah. And he invested in these Western-themed gift shops that were in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport.
Smart.
So, he was a smart cookie. He also hosted a celebrity golf tournament in Dallas to raise money for the United Negro College Fund. And, unfortunately, he died in 2015 at the age of 70.
Wow.
Now, I remember reading this a long time ago that when he played in the Ice Bowl, it was said that Kramer was holding him, and that's how Starr was able to score that touchdown. So I don't know how true it is, but I read it.
Well, the way the block looked, on the 1 yard, less than the 1 yard line, you don't need much movement. You know what I mean? It's an icy field. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, we'll never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know. But he was a hell of a player.
Hell of a player. That's an incredible graphic you had of those guys. I've never seen that graphic of all 4 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Together. Wow, that's amazing.
Doomsday.
That is the doomsday for real.
Yeah,
For real. Harvey Martin, Randy White, Jethro Pugh, and Ed Too Tall Jones.
that's right.
Absolutely.
That's
That
right.
was a whole lot of hurt right there.
Mhm. You know that. So what's going on with the combine?
Well, I just want to draw my line in the sand. I mean, in
Mhm.
light of what Coach Prime has done with the combine, and I just want to say this for people to observe, because you're seeing other schools literally mimic what he's doing. And they don't want to give him credit, but you see them mimicking what he's doing. And he's really, I heard something from Cam Newton that was very accurate. He said, and based on the facts, I think Coach Prime is the Bear Bryant of this era.
Mm.
The amount of changes he's creating, just like Bear Bryant did,
Mhm.
and in his time, right? The
Yeah.
60s and the
Yeah.
70s and the 50s, right? You could really say that Coach Prime is the Bear Bryant. I mean, on the trajectory, how he works the transfer portal, how he recruits coaches, how he recruits players. Um, he's got a lot of things going on, how he affects the economy of
Mhm.
Boulder, how he has included his how he leverages corporate relationships. I mean, you could literally be a player at Colorado. You have listen to this, how crazy this is.
Mhm.
You could have the option of going pro. You could have the option of an internship in corporate. You just having the name that you played at Colorado
Mm.
could open so many doors because there's so much shine in that comes to Colorado.
Oh
It's
yeah.
amazing,
Yes, it is.
right?
Yes, it
It is
is.
really amazing. And I don't think a lot of these kids are realizing what's really happening. And as I say, it's really literally the NFL of college football.
Yeah, yeah, you were saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. If you're really thinking about playing the next level and then learning a lot of what he's teaching, even on a corporate end, you're really prepared. Because I'm telling you, Joe, it started with the quarterbacks where they're like, I'm paying you all this money. I'm not sitting you 2 or 3 years. We grew
No.
up in that era where a quarterback would sit.
Yep.
No, the money is too big and it's going right over to every position. If I can get a guy who can come in and perform, it's a good investment.
Mm. Yeah. Yes, it
And
is.
you're gonna see that. You're gonna see more and more of that. So anyway, what you got going on, my friend?
I'm gonna switch gears a minute and talk about the NBA season's end. Okay.
Yes.
Now, Chris Paul, he became the first player to make 82 starts in his 20th season.
Wow.
I mean, John Stockton did it at in his 19th season.
Mm.
So now he is one of 3 players to have 82 appearances at his age. The other 2 were Stockton and Michael Jordan at 39.
He's 39 now?
Yeah, he'll be turning 40 soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chris has been playing a long time.
Yeah. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Now, the Knicks, their playoff picture is interesting.
Mm.
They're gonna take on the Pistons in the first round, right? Now the Pistons only won 14 games last season, and here they are in the playoffs this year against the Knicks.
What's crazy about that? Who's the coach of the Pistons? Because he should be coach of the year.
Yeah,
Wow.
definitely, definitely. So now the Pistons, they were 3-1 against the Knicks this year.
Mm-hmm.
So going in, so they're playing with house money. You think they're going to be coming in loosey goosey in the playoffs?
Oh, they're
You
coming to
know?
get it. They're coming to
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're
Now
coming to get it.
Cade Cunningham, he was killing the Knicks all year. He
Mm.
had he averaged 28 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds against them.
Oh, he's putting in work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's putting in work.
So that's going to be interesting how that plays out with them. Because I think Tibbs is on the hot seat with this series.
Yeah, he on the hot seat. He has it. I think if he doesn't go to the show, he out of there. He's out of there.
Now, speaking of coaches, okay, the Sixers, their injury-riddled season finally came to an end.
Thank goodness.
And despite, the season that they had, Daryl Morey said that him and Nick Nurse are going to be back next year. So,
okay.
But in contrast, the Mavs fired Mike Malone. Memphis fired Taylor Jenkins, and Phoenix fired Mike Budenholzer. So
who the Mavs fire?
Taylor Jenkins. I'm Mike Malone. Mike Malone.
Who's Mike Malone?
He was the coach of the Mavericks.
The Dallas Mavericks?
Yeah.
What happened to Jason Kidd?
I think he was in the background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no,
That's
Mike Malone
strange.
was the coach. So
That's
yeah, just a whole lot of shaking going on.
Yeah, that's what happens when you lose.
Yeah. So, but two of these, Dallas is still in the playoff hunt, so I don't know what happened there.
Well, I think that what it is that long term, they're going to get bounced. They're going to get bounced, and so they figure, let's try to figure out a solution, and get, and figure that out. And probably, more than likely making that decision, they have someone in mind. So let's start it early,
Well, we'll see what happens, So what's going on with Cam Ward?
I think Cam Ward is one of the big, and I know I'm repeating myself, so in the comments, you don't have to remind me, but I just am so impressed with this guy. No stars, gets it out of the mud, doesn't go to a big school, coming out of high school, not highly recruited, and just gambles on himself and puts in the WORK. Gets an opportunity at Washington State and puts in the WORK. Cristobal, Miami finds him and gets Miami back to its old winning ways. Positions himself to probably be easily a top 3 pick.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
And that really speaks to what's not talked about. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the role of, you got guys, I coach AAU, and I says, listen, guys, you can have talent. Everybody has talent, usually, who steps on the floor, whatever sport. But if you want to separate yourself, you're going to have to put in extra work. That's really what I call skill development. Left hand, right hand, speed, all the intangibles, and really dialing it in. And then if you want to be exceptional, that's called mastery, right? Yeah. And that's a higher level. That's MJ. That's Brady. That's like, I got all the reasons to chill. I got the fame. I got the accolades. But do you have what it takes to not fall prey to that and keep pushing? And so Cam, I really feel that, the combine, the traditional combine, I'll call it, hasn't really leveraged what this young man has done. I know Cam Ward's name better than whoever, the quarterback who won the national championship, the quarterback who was the other quarterback in that game. I don't even know the quarterback of Georgia, LSU, the powerhouses. But I know Cam Ward's name. And I think that speaks to one of the greatest things about Cam Ward is his work ethic and his mindset. And I just wanted to give him his flowers. And I really pray that he goes to the right organization, because a right organization can take your career forward and a wrong one can take it in the opposite direction.
Oh, that's for sure. We've seen it.
And it has nothing to do with talent. It has to do with the front office. So I just wanted to give my man his flowers. Now, Cam Ward is the truth. He is the truth.
That's right. Well, speaking of football, Dak says his hamstring injury is progressing to the point where he said he could suit up right now. So
he needs to go sit down.
I mean, he'll be doing limited OTAs, but that's his feeling right at this moment. So, but you take it with a grain of salt.
I don't know why you poke the bear. Why are you poking me? That is the least of our problems. We have no running game. We don't have any blockers. I don't know who's on defense. What are we talking about here? What like, bruh, y'all on a rebuild. You're on a rebuild. I don't even think you'll be there in 2-3 years.
Yeah, with dumpster diver Jerry.
Yeah. Y'all are putting up enough of a product to keep people talking, but you're not going nowhere. You haven't gone anywhere in almost 30 years.
No. That's but this seems to be the season for recycled quarterbacks because Joe Flacco's going back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's for $4 million for the year, he can get up to $13 million in incentives.
Yeah, I mean, if you want my opinion on that, and that's a good way to put it, the recycle, is because it's an easier way than having to coach.
Yeah.
And that's really a problem with the league. All leagues is this lazy coaching. Yep. And you end up it's like the same thing that happens in any business is that, to preserve your job, you go with the trend, right? Though that trend ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. It's gonna be the same old, but you go with it because everybody or who's most important is with it, and you just ride it out. Yep. And so this is what kills organizations or keeps organizations from really winning, because it takes skill to develop. It takes skill to coach. It takes skill. And that's why I love Andy Reid.
Yes, definitely. Well, here's a tale of two knuckleheads. Okay. L'Jarius Sneed. Okay. Oh, Lord. He's being sued for shooting at a Texas man while he was sitting in a car on a dealership lot. Okay. Now, you're in broad daylight, right? Cameras everywhere, and you're doing a drive-by in a Lamborghini. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It just boggles the mind. So, of course, him and his accomplice were arrested. So, just knuckleheads. Now, this is sad. Okay. Kyren Lacy. Now, he was accused of causing a crash that killed a 78-year-old man in December and fleeing the scene.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he was charged with negligent homicide, hit and run, and reckless driving. Now, this is the sad part. Okay. He was apparently he was in a high-speed chase with the cops and he crashed his car. So they're calling it an apparent suicide. So, I mean, this kid was 24 years old. And he just threw his life away. It's just very, very unfortunate that, this happened to this young man.
This is one of the things that, that has to be addressed, that all people need therapy. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to shock a lot of people. A lot of players in college, a lot of players in pros, a lot. Not until they get to college or get to the pros, have ever slept in a bed by themselves, have ever eaten 3 square meals a day, have had to live in unstable housing situations, like being homeless at various times during their development. And this is why I'm a big proponent that athletes particularly should get counseling and therapy to help them work through those traumas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got guys out here who, I think, what was his name? Jennings, who talked about, think about this, being a high school phenom, went to the NBA, high school phenom, but was so good in basketball as a kid, that he was able to make money to pay his mother's rent. You don't think that is traumatic? Yeah. Think about that. He's like, I got this skill as a 14, 12, 13, 14-year-old in order to stabilize my housing. If I play basketball for money, I can make sure I got a roof over my head.
That's a big burden.
It's a big burden. It's a big burden. And so this is what a lot of these guys are carrying. Like, if I don't make it, my family don't eat. Rent don't get paid. Light bills don't get paid. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so many times, as crazy as it may sound, the field is the safest place. It's structured. It's measured. You know what's you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so a lot of these guys, and man, let me tell you, I'm gonna leave it there. I'll leave it there. It's
so. Yeah, it's sad. It really is that sometimes it's just put on them like that.
Yeah, and then you come and get recruited, and then you're playing, and it may not be working out the way you think, right? There's still players in Colorado who, think how crazy this is. You're at Colorado, somehow you convinced yourself to transfer, and you're stuck in the portal, and no one picked you up. So you didn't even understand and have a plan of how this whole thing works. You just figured, I'm going to go in the portal and get picked up. So you're in a business, but you don't know how it works.
Yeah.
So you're not where you were in Colorado. You're in limbo, and your eligibility's in jeopardy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, what about franchises that are stuck at the bottom 15?
I had a friend of mine saying, you said that, Barry, and you know what? I Googled it. It's true.
Yeah.
You just have some franchises, Bengals, Cardinals, Jaguars, and a few more of them. The Colts, who will just never be, in a 10-year, 15-year, some of them 20-year span, will never smell a Super Bowl. Because Cleveland, you got to say to yourself, with all the money Cleveland has spent, the return on investment is a negative.
That's for sure.
It's a negative.
That's for damn sure.
And people say to me, well, why are you so harsh? I said, I'm not harsh. I don't hate Stefanski, but he clearly does not have the skill. What do you do with a bunch of number ones and you still can't win? What other excuse do I make for the guy?
Yeah.
But people do what they do, and it is what it is. And so you got some franchises that will always be bottom. I call them the bottom 15.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wrap it up right there.
Maybe I have to come out with a T-shirt. Be wary of the bottom 15; it'll kill your career. Oh my goodness! Well, as we always say on Smarterfan podcast,
stay in the game.
Stay in the game, folks. See you next week.
All
right, buddy.
Everybody, have a good night.
Smarterfan. Yeah.